Chapter 14 Sri Dooleshar Vir Hira Harbachan Singh. S. Man Singh, head clerk in No. 36 Cavalry, was staying at Ambala Cant. He was a devoted Guru Sikh and often used to pray with fervent eyes for spiritual orientation of his youngest son, Harbachan Singh. He would thank the Lord for all that was bestowed on him, as the worldly position, wealth, and all the comforts. Harbachan Singh was his most beloved child, yet devoid of all spirituality, while the rest of the family would pray daily, both morning and evening. He would ridicule the family devotion and the Sikh faith. He was sent to Khalsa College, Amritsar, with a view to expose him to religious environment that would possibly evoke his interest in the faith. However, in spite of his being educated there, he remained more of an atheist. Man Singh pleaded his helplessness towards reforming the boy to God and sought divine intervention through his prayers to make Harbachan Singh a God-oriented person. He would make such prayers tearfully, and finally these were answered. One day, our humble Kirtoni Jatha came to Ambala Cant, attracted by the love and yearnings of our dear ones, Babu Mal Singh and Bhai Pyari Singh. We were singing the divine melody in great moods when this young man passed nearby. As he heard the divine word of the music, he sat down right on the spot in the dust of the road as a shot-down bird falls. The more he heard, the more was the piercing effect and his restlessness. He even lost his bodily consciousness. Meanwhile, the great divine hunter, benevolent Vir, Babu Mal Singh, sensing the appropriate occasion, got him lifted in the same sitting posture and brought him to the assembly. This fervid new aspirant of God-love was further subjected to the sally of divine kirtan. He just remained statue-like throughout. The one who used to make so much fun of the faith was now under such a spellbound state. At the end of a Akhand Kirtan, full recitation of Sri Guru Granth Sahib, Akhand Path, started. It was like the continuous pouring of blissful rain day and night for 48 hours that imbued the soul of aspirant for baptism. The mystic reciters further heightened the yearnings of Bhai Harbachan Singh for God-love. At 4:30 a.m., once again the kirtan started just as the path recitation ended, and yet he sat motionless with closed eyes. Rangeli Sajan. Knowing this to be eligible soul and with divine prompting, the baptizing ceremony was planned. Bhai Harbachan Singh was given a full bath and dressed up in the Khalsa garb. He presented himself before the chosen five and begged to be baptized with folded hands. Feeling the divine presence, he was enchanted with anticipation of the new event. As he received the first drops of Amrit and sprinkled in his eyes, his entire being got flushed with divine light, and what followed was akin to Saman kare chan karna ji mein kiran, imni keen hui gayi sakhi ann bhage ki, madhur vandan biyapi aisa ki hanti ji, gahar mein biyapi gayi hanti ji. At the very sight, all consciousness was lost. There was neither awareness nor comprehension, neither any memory nor contemplation. Without any sense of knowledge, rendered motionless, it was beyond endurance, and all self-ego was gone. Lost in divine love, devoid of separate existence. This is wonder of the wonder, beyond measure. Kabit Bhai Gurdas Ji. It was 3 days and 3 nights that Bhai Harbachan Singh had remained in deep meditation. Just as the kirtan was non-stop, so also was the meditation. The place was full with the holy congregation, and the newly baptized Khalsa was seated at the rear, behind everybody, imbued in Nam. Whereas his family had earlier been worried about his lack of religious interest, they were now worried for restoring him to a normal state of ordinary life. Only his deeply religious father, a Gursikh, S. Man Singh Ji, remained unperturbed. He was in fact in thankful mood to see his son in advanced state of spiritualism. The kirtan was in full swing, when suddenly, from his sitting posture, Young Lovebird flew over the heads of the assembly straight to the prostrate in front of Sri Guru Granth Sahib. His head touched ground, while his body swayed in the air like a winged fish jumping to fly in midair. This was a rare and wondrous scene, which held surprise for all. The kirtan was at the peak, and this scene also held on. Once again, on divine prompting, the kirtaniya started to sing the Lavan, the hymns for a Sikh marriage. This was a marriage between a realized soul with the divine Lord. The captivating kirtan on that occasion was never heard before or since. All the spiritual beings experienced strange blissfulness. Just as the divine couple made love, the holy congregation and the kirtaniyas were also lost in rapture. Soon after Kirtan of Lavan, the song of divine worship, Arti, was sung. With this, a sense of deep bliss prevailed. As the words, Gopal Tara Tara at, O Lord, thy servant seeks thy shelter, the belly swaying in midair came down to earth, and the newlywed remained motionless in prostrate meditation. All got stunned with premonition. To dispel all fears and anxiety, the chosen five brought Vir Harbachan Singh to his consciousness. With loving care, he was taken to the adjoining room for rest. General access was restricted, and the family got reassured of his well-being. Resting from the night, he was still enjoying his Sharman. He took his morning bath along with others, meditated and recited daily prayers. Asadavar Kirtan started, with Vir Harbachan Singh in attendance. Moved by the Kirtan, he laid prostrate while doing loud Simran. Along with the Kirtan, he kept his Simran in tune. In this divine rapture, all sense of time was lost. On distribution of Kar Prasad, Vir Harbachan Singh's hunger for divine love was satiated with the Prasad. Meanwhile, the touring party, the divine friends and who had arrived at home, took leave to continue their sojourn. All departed, leaving behind the lovelorn Vir Harbachan Singh all alone. Following this, whenever there was an occasion for a samagam, this divinely prompted Vir Harbachan Singh would also come. His spirituality remained at the same peak. He never showed off his high state and remained a humble householder and a true renouncer. Vir Harbachan Singh was highly compassionate and large-hearted. Very few equal him as unknown benefactor. He would think nothing of sacrificing his all for a good cause, whenever it was thought of. Rang Sajan. Selecting him among the chosen five during baptizing ceremonies, he would remain humble in offering his services. He was never stubborn and also abided by the general decisions. He never yearned for any position. He was divinely blessed and enjoyed divine favor. This continued for many years. The march of times took him to foreign countries as member of the army before I was jailed in 1915. This was during the World War. It was a divine coincidence that Babu Mal Singh Ji also accompanied him. While I enjoyed meditation during my life imprisonment in the jails, these two remained imbued in Nam even in the war-torn foreign lands. The great souls like Vir Harbachan Singh, Babu Mal Singh, and young divine Sant Magdar Singh Ji got involved in the war effect. Probably that sustained the bureaucratic government of the British, or else it would have fallen due to the injustice meted out to many jailed spiritualists. There is no denying that sufferings of the holy ones, subjected to slavery of foreign rule and vicissitudes of the war, were much more than the sufferings of those of us, dedicated to freedom struggle, in the dark dungeons of Indian jails. I heard about the hardships undergone by Vir Harbachan Singh that can be better described by the personal witness, Babu Mal Singh Ji. I can only say that when I met him on his return after the war, his face shone with even greater glory than I had known before. Though the military doctors and the well-known civil medical practitioners had confirmed his suffering from a terminal disease that could prove fatal any moment, yet this God-oriented, splendid personality remained in high spirits throughout. He was never seen wearing a worried look, in anger, or unduly concerned. A picture of tolerance and peace, he was always in meditation, touching new spiritual glory. The incidents of his spiritual experiences are best known to his longtime associate, Babu Mal Singh Ji. How much to write about his divine, virtuous character. One can go on and on. He was a true picture of an ideal Gursikh. Whenever I read the mention of accomplished Gursikhs in the Vars and Sewis of Bhai Gurdas Ji, I picture my dear Bhai Harbachan Singh Ji, whose life bears close resemblance to the description. Even though he has bodily departed from this transitory world, yet I have never felt that he has left us. He was detached from worldliness, like the lotus flower and water, untouched by the worldly attachments or by the bodily sufferings. He left in a whiff for his heavenly abode. However, his spiritual presence is always felt by the ones united with him in spiritual ties, as though he never departed.